Good afternoon. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm sitting here with the team captain of the Jacksonville Giants, Jerrod Tucker. Small forward being the natural position.
Yep.
You're playing power forward this season.
Somewhat.
You were telling me a little bit off the mic about how in the playoffs last year they had you playing the two-guard spot.
Yes, sir.
How are you able to rotate position to position on seemingly a nightly basis like that?
Well, coming up in high school, I was always the five, and so when I got to college, my first college coach told me, he said, "Listen, you're not gonna be playing the five at all. So you got to learn what everybody else learns. So dribbling, shooting, passing, and so it just I worked on it every day, and now it's just pretty much natural. I mean, and then also I feel like I can move my feet pretty well, and I can get a little shifty from time to time. So.
Right. You can drain a shot too.
Yeah.
I didn't know because I've been a Jacksonville Giants season ticket holder throughout the years, but this is my first time really working with the Giants on such a personal level, and I knew that you could hit shots, but now that I'm watching literally every single game and I'm watching closely throughout the game, I was really surprised that you are such a deadly shooter from behind the three-point arc. How did that craft really grow, especially since you started off by playing the center spot in high school?
Just repetitions, just getting a lot of shots up. And also just making sure that that you take the ones that are easy, and when you're open.
Right, don't force anything.
Yeah, don't force it at all. So, I mean, repetition, getting a lot of shots up every day. So, that's about it.
So tell me how long you've been here with the Giants.
This is my fifth season.
The fifth season.
Yeah.
Okay. The second longest tenured Giant behind Jermaine Bell.
Yeah.
Right. Team captain. Talk to me about what that role means to you. And how you're able to mentor some of the young guns, especially now, mid-season, the Jacksonville Giants just signed a couple of new players.
So, being captain right now, it's like I have to be, let's say, partial to everyone. Because there's on some teams there are, as they call cliques. And some players gravitate to other players more. Like I can't do that. Like I can't
just like life.
Yeah, I can't be, partial to this group of my teammates because at the end of the day, we're all on the same team. So if I can't talk to everybody, then, why do I have that role? And so, I actually take it as a compliment, and I actually love being captain of the team because I mean it helps you, during the game, you get to, see other things besides what you're doing, So you're watching what other players are doing, and then if you have great input to put into that, you can give it, So let's say one of the new guys, Aaron Bowen,
He's real good too.
Yeah.
Anybody that hasn't seen Aaron play, I saw him this last Saturday. The kid can ball.
Yes.
Played with the Orlando Magic D-League.
Yes. Young guy, lots of talent, and so during the game, if I can't be able to, let him know, like, hey, listen, like I seen this, and you can do this to make that better. If I couldn't do that, then I don't deserve to be captain, And that's just come with being a veteran of, playing a lot of basketball too. So.
And is that part of how you show that leadership on the court as well as off the court then?
Yeah. I mean, off the court, we all hang out together. We all talk to each other. So I mean, off the court, it's I don't think they see me as a captain. They see me as as a friend off the court. So I think that helps too.
Jerry Williams, it's his first full season as head coach of the Jacksonville Giants. Talk to me about how that transition has been for you. You were just saying that you've been with the Jacksonville Giants for 5 years. So 4 seasons under one coach and 1 season now with Jerry Williams.
It's coming on pretty well. I think Coach Williams has done a great job of just continuing what the values of the basketball that we play. So we like to play fast pace. We like to press. We like to score a lot of points, have fun. And so, he has continued that. As you can say, a tradition of that. So, and I mean, it makes it easier for everyone else because you don't have to come in and think about, hey, I got to learn a new system, or he's going to be too overbearing. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like he's cool in that aspect. He's just, hey guys, we're going to take it one game at a time, one day at a time, one practice at a time, and we're going to get better. So I like that approach from him.
Talk to me about a Jacksonville Giants practice. What does that look like this season in particular, and maybe so recently? Have you guys changed really what you've been working on from the beginning of the season? Because now we're at about the midway point.
So at the beginning, we were all about conditioning and getting in shape, making sure guys could keep up with the pace of the game. And so now that we're in mid-season, everybody is pretty much, they have their legs under them. We've been tailored to more of executing plays and going over certain defensive rotations. And so you're going to need those things in order for the playoffs. So execution and defense play a big part in our practices now.
I know Jerry Williams, having watched him coach now for a couple of games, that he's not a huge fan of the other team nailing threes. He just you can see the frustration in his face when the opposing team when that three ball goes in.
Yeah.
Talk to me about how you really try to work to guard the 3-point line in particular.
So it's just closing out, closing out hand high and chopping your feet down in order to be able to, when you close out, if the guy's not going to shoot it and he's going to go to the basket, you have to be able to move your feet. And so we take real pride in that in practice. So, close out drills and, making sure the rotations are right. So, say if I'm guarding a guy, he gets to the rim, Slim slides over, to protect the rim. If Slim's man just decides to run out to the three, guess what? That's my man now. I close out on him, and then the rotations it's like a push-pull kind of thing. So if a person closes out, everybody else has to be ready to help that person just in case he gets beat. So, I mean, we're getting a lot better at that as the season goes on. So,
on Saturday's game, it was a bit of a blowout. I think the Giants were up 50, 60 points at one point in the fourth quarter. But you still have to find a way to go out there and play with the same energy and compete in the same fashion, whether it's a close game or it's a blowout, for yourself just to make it fun, but also for the fans that come out to watch a basketball. How do you find a way to stay engaged in situations like that when you're just so clearly dominating the other team?
Well, during that aspect, I always think back to a quote that Michael Jordan said. He said that you have to go into every game thinking that there's always one person who's never seen you play, And so when it comes down to where you're winning by 30 or 40 points, second quarter, third quarter, you have to pretty much take it as, if you're trying to win a championship, those moments where you have to execute in those situations, you have to take advantage of it. Because, you can do it in practice. You can execute in practice. But to do it against different faces and different people to see if it works, that's what really makes you a championship team. And so, that's what we're striving for. We want to repeat. So we have to execute and do what we're supposed to do in those moments. So when you're up 60, it doesn't matter. You still have to run a play and make sure it works. Because if that play didn't work against them, then it might work in practice, but it might not work against them.
Right.
So, and that's how it gets boring at times. It does, but if you're a competitor, it's easy.
Are there any coaches, you've been playing ball for a number of years now, and are there any coaches that have given you one piece of advice that's really stuck with you?
So my first high school coach, Brian McManus, he told me, I was coming in, I was a sophomore, and he moved me up to varsity as a sophomore. And he told me, he said, look, when you get up here, I only want two things. Play hard, play for yourself. And I was like, what? Play for myself? I thought we were supposed to be playing for the team. And he was like, well, in the team aspect, if you don't play like you're supposed to play, then you're hurting the team. And I was like, oh, that's pretty good, you know? And so I've always thought about that. If you're not playing up to the standards that you have for yourself, then you're hurting the team, you know? Because let's say if I go out there and I'm not rebounding the ball well, or I'm not playing defense, guess what? It's hurting the team. And it's always stuck with me. I don't know why, but it just, you know. And playing hard is just one thing that, I mean, from Chicago, you had to play hard. If you didn't play hard, you basically got talked about and sat down. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, playing hard is just one of those things. I mean, every coach that I played for has always been play hard, play hard, play hard. So.
But you can always, playing hard is a skill, right? You know, something maybe that a lot of people don't appreciate as much. There's a lot of shooters out there. There's a lot of people that can pass the ball really well, but effort, whether or not you're talking about basketball or just a professional, regular life, it's a skill.
Yeah, most definitely. I think people have always said that you can't teach effort, and I believe you can. I believe you can pull effort out of anybody. You know, if you make them see what the goal is. You know, and so right now we all want a championship. So everybody's going to play hard because they want to, you know, be able to say, hey, listen, I've won a championship on a professional level. So everybody's going to play hard. And then also, you know, some people play hard for different reasons. Money, maybe, or maybe a family member, you know, has passed away and they feel like they're playing in their person's honor. So, yeah, effort is something that is in everyone. They just have to have the right reason to bring it out.
Coming off a championship season, Jacksonville Giants, winning the championship last year. A lot of teams, when they're coming off those championship runs, they tend to let their guard down a little bit. You know, we can go back to like the Dallas Mavericks when they won that championship. All of a sudden, the next year they weren't as good. A lot of those players just not playing at that same level. You coming off a championship last year, how do you keep up that same level of intensity moving into this year?
Well, let's see. The first season I played with the Giants, we won a championship that season. That was 2013. And the next year we came in, you know, we were all content about winning. You know, we won a championship. We were happy. You know, and when we came in, you know, everybody knew the target was going to be on your back because you just won. You know, everybody wants to knock you off of that pedestal. And so we kind of relaxed a little bit. And the end result of that next season was we didn't win, you know. And so this season, like, a few of us took the entire summer and we just stayed at it, getting up shots, lifting weights, you know, just making sure that we were better than what we were last year. And so that has to be how it's done. You know, you have to get better in order to defend that championship because, you know, people see it as, oh, we didn't win, so we have to get better. No, we won, and we still want to get better. We want to repeat. So the target is always on your back. You're always going to get everybody's best shot. So we have to be ready. Have to be ready.
So the Jacksonville Giants were 7-2 on the season. Obviously, every loss is disappointing. Did one of those losses sting more than the other? And to add on to that, was there anything that you learned yourself personally as well as the team from either one of those losses moving forward to you know, the rest of the season and going into the playoffs?
Well, both losses hurt. I mean, because we had opportunities to win the game, you know, and Orlando, you know, down the stretch we didn't make the right plays to win the game, you know. And then DMV, I mean, as a team, we found out that we had to be tougher. You know, we had to play with a certain kind of edge in order to win.
If I remember correctly, the fourth quarter of that game is where the Giants really made the comeback run, and it was one putback away from getting the W in that game.
And it shouldn't have came down to that. We should have been right in the thick of that game the entire game, or we should have been winning by 20 at least the entire game. Because honestly, they were not 20 points better than us during that game. They weren't. So but that's just me. I mean, I just see it that way, and I'm sure my teammates see it that way as well. So,
Well, you should see it that way. You're a competitor, and you're a great ball player.
Yeah.
So do you go by the attitude of when you are on the court, you are the best player on the court?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. All the time. I mean, you have to think like that. You can't go out there and think you're the 10th best player on the court.
Right.
So, because I mean, if you're out there and you think you're the worstest player on the court, then that's how you're going to play. So,
For somebody that's coming up and is has dreams of becoming a professional basketball player or maybe just playing at the collegiate level, do you have any advice?
Well, listen to what Keith said when he was here during his interview. Getting 1% better every day is a great attitude to have. And another thing would be if you're good at something on the court, you have to perfect that. So if you're a shooter, perfect it. And then also add on to it after that. So be able to take, advice from other players and other coaches and other people who just are students of the game who want you to succeed. Like I wouldn't be in the position I am today if it wasn't for me listening to other people tell me, hey, listen, I think you should work on this too, along with, the rest of your game.
So be a sponge.
Yeah, just listen. Mm-hmm. I mean, sometimes you might think that's not good advice. You might think that, but at the end of the day, people are telling you something for a reason, and if you think you should work on it, then work on it. If not, then guess what? That person will always tell you for the next 5 to 10 years. Every time you see that person, you still don't have a left hand yet, something like that. And if you haven't worked on your left hand, then you're going to be in the same spot you are right now. So just get better every day.
Well, that's the difference between players that play at the professional level and players that play pickup ball at the Y, right? Is that when you're playing at the Y, you're like, man, I'm just going to make him go left every time.
Yeah.
But on the professional level, you don't have that luxury.
No, you don't. You have to be balanced. If a player sees a weakness of yours, they're going to exploit it. They're going to take advantage of it. And so you have to be able to do. You don't have to be 100% great at everything. You can be 75% good, at different aspects of the game. So if you go left and your left hand is 75% good, then guess what? People know that, all right, he can go left. So we have to guard him straight up. We can't just force him left all the time, or we can't just force him right all the time. You know what I'm saying? You have to be, if you can get a defender to stay on balance in front of you, then you can be a great offensive player.
One of the underrated things, speaking of about the NBA last season with Miami Heat, is that up and down the roster, all their starters were left-handed. And I think that's the only time in professional sports where every player has been left-handed. When you're guarding somebody that is left-handed, is it harder? Does it kind of trip you up mentally? Because I would assume that most of the players you're guarding are right-handed, right? Because most people are right-handed.
True. If nobody tells you that person is left-handed, if you don't notice it right away, it can be very, very tricky. Right. Very tricky.
You got to adjust your game mentally.
Yeah. And so you have to, now you have to adjust. So maybe you have to send them to their right hand now all the time. You have to. Because if he gets going with that left hand, then you're in trouble. So it makes it's tricky, but also if you know exactly what kind of defender you are, then you won't have a problem. Just have to pay attention.
Tell me about the most memorable game that you've ever played in your professional career, whether that was with the Giants or whether that was with the Giants or maybe another organization that you played with.
My most memorable game probably was last year's championship game. It was intense, and it was probably one of the more fun games that I've ever played in, because everything is on the line. There's no there's no going back, you know. And so it was just a lot of fun. I mean, I'm just a competitor, so it was a lot of fun.
Is there a particular play from the game that you kept replaying in your head for the days and weeks and months following, or that maybe even still sticks with you?
Yeah, there was one play where RJ stole the ball, and Reese was streaking up the court, and so we're all like this, like everybody's screaming, like RJ, throw the ball, throw the ball, throw the ball, and so he passed it. Reese lays the ball up, and I think that put us up 3, if I'm not mistaken. I think it put us up 3, and you can just feel like, you know, like the winning attitude coming out of everybody. Like everybody knew that at that point we were gonna win, and so it just, I don't know, it just gives me goosebumps from time to time, because if you sit back and think about it, if RJ doesn't make that pass, or you know somebody steals it, then we probably lose the game. So it's just, I don't know, it just gives you goosebumps from that.
What's it like playing with Maurice? He's leading the team in points per game right now, 17 points a game. You know, the lead point guard, a bit of a combo guard. He can be shoot first or pass first, it seems like, depending on the need of the game. What's it like to play with a player of that caliber out there on the court night in, night out?
It's honestly, it's great, because he when he's going, he makes us a lot better, so much better. And I think people don't give him a lot of credit like he should get, you know, because if he doesn't make shots in the playoffs, we probably don't win, you know. And now I think he's starting to see that, you know, us playing together, you know, as a unit is helping him as well, you know. So sometimes, you know, he'll come down, he'll pull it, he'll make it, and you know, we're all like, all right, cool, you know, because he can do that. You know, we know his skill set, we know what he can do, you know, and so I love playing with him. I mean, he's one of those guys where he's a competitor as well, and you know, I know for a fact that every game that we step out there, that he's going to give it 110%. So, I mean, probably one of the best teammates I've had in a long time.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah.
A lot of fun to watch. Anybody that hasn't seen Maurice play in person, it's one of those things you got to do. Coming up on the end of the interview right now, the season we're about the midway point, 7-2 on the year. What are you, you know, and the team really concentrating on to make sure that you can bring another championship back to Jacksonville? Because a lot of great sports teams here, but the Jacksonville Giants are the only one bringing championships to the city.
Well, right now our focus is to win our division, and we win the division. We pretty much smooth sailing from there. You know, so that's the main focus right now, is just to win the division. So we have another divisional game against South Florida coming up down there in South Florida, and then we play St. Pete, who beat Orlando as well. So
quality win.
Yeah, those are pretty important games. We win those, we're pretty much in the driver's seat to make it back to I think the playoffs in DC, I think, or Baltimore, one of the two. So that puts us in the driver's seat to get back to where we want to be.
I am 100% convinced that you guys don't lose another game all season. I think the team was too good to begin with, but then obviously there were the new additions of Keith as well as Aaron, who played with the D League in Orlando, and it's just Coach Sherry Williams was telling me 15 starters on the floor at any given time, any player they can go out there, and you guys have just been tearing it up.
Yeah.
So this Saturday, the Jacksonville Giants, they are playing at Veterans Memorial Arena. You're playing against Fayetteville Flight. What should people look out for? Keys to the game.
Keys to the game are getting off to a great start, and then also just continuing with what we've been doing the last 5 games. We've played defense, pushed the ball, and just put the ball in the basket as well. So, I mean, as long as we continue the balance that we have across the board, we'll be fine.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. The Jacksonville Giants, the last time the power rankings came out, we were 16th.
Oh.
The power rankings haven't come out, though, for a week or so, and that is far too low, given the quality of ball that you guys are playing right now. It's
Given the quality win that we just got last week.
I was up like 60, 70 in the fourth quarter. You had a Bruce Brown out there. He was shooting threes, and he was making them. You couldn't even get mad at it. He was making them. That was a really fun game, and it just seems like now at this point in the season, you can just tell the whole team, you guys are really coming together on the court, and so much stronger than just the beginning of the season, which it's we're a month and a half in right now, but it really seems like you guys are coming together.
Yeah, we're building towards the ultimate goal, and so we wanted to make sure that the group that we have now, like everyone together, is focused on that goal. And so we're not trying to peak at this point right now.
No,
we don't want to peak.
You want to play your best
Yeah.
when it comes to the champion. You want to end strong. Starting strong is nice.
Yeah,
But you want to end strong.
yeah. So we're building, and by the time April rolls around, we want to be able to peak right then at that moment. For 5 games, we want to be at our top level. And so we're building towards that.
I personally can't wait. Jacksonville this Saturday, Jacksonville's Veterans Memorial Arena. Come see Team Captain Jerrod Tucker. The rest of the Jacksonville Giants, the Jewels, the Gems. Do us a favor though. Share this video and tell your friends about it. Get it out there. You can tweet it out, all those kinds of things too. And we will see you this Saturday, pregame party at 6 p.m. Doors at 7. We also have a really awesome slider for Snapchat, a geofilter is what they're called, the geofilter for Snapchat. If you guys want to make sure that you check that out during the game as well with the best mascot in professional sports, Mr. Biggs. Jerrod Tucker, thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you for having me.